A little over 20 years ago, I was fortunate enough to make the migration from fax machines to the internet in healthcare supply chain. I was fortunate that eBay had asked me to help them build this healthcare supply chain marketplace. If I can take you guys back roughly 20 years ago, there was a bunch of Stanford graduates running around a building in San Jose at eBay trying to figure out how do they go beyond practicals and collectibles, Beanie Babies and golf clubs, and how do they break into restaurant equipment, automobiles, real estate, fashion? And they really didn't know how to do it, as you can imagine. And so they would reach out to industry experts. We learned a lot from that eBay 2 years. There was two principal things that we took away from that experience. First is the sellers were really slow to adopt to the internet, and especially eBay. Even though eBay today does roughly $1 billion a year in healthcare transactions, roughly 97% used, at the time, the idea of putting a CAT scan or an EKG or gauze or table paper or syringes on eBay would be like me telling you to go put that on Etsy. The healthcare sellers just weren't ready for it. The second thing that we learned is the buyers weren't ready for it. The buyers primarily at that time were 50 and 60-year-olds, and they weren't digitally native. They didn't grow up with the internet on a phone or a tablet, and they weren't trained as consumers to make that migration, so there just wasn't any buyers. Think about the comparison of other verticals that eBay really exploded with, like automobiles, going on to sell 5 million cars and becoming the largest reseller of automobiles in the world. Healthcare just really didn't go anywhere. I had the great opportunity after that to go run a company in continental Europe for many years, and then I came back and worked in private equity about 8 years ago, where I was also on the board of a healthcare informational platform that was getting about 20,000 unique visitors a day. B2B healthcare, that's an unbelievable amount of visitors. And we started to see it slowly uptick, 1,000, 2,000. And when we dove into the demographic of that, it was mostly younger people. And it kind of occurred to me, if the millennial digitally native healthcare buyer was entering the healthcare purchasing ecosystem, it might be time for a healthcare supply chain B2B internet solution. I reached back out to some contacts I had at eBay. I asked them, hey, by chance, are you starting to see any traction on healthcare? And they said, Scott, we're doing a couple million a year in capital and syringes and med-surg and other things. And I'm like, wow, that's remarkable that you're seeing that growth. I knew it was time to revisit a healthcare marketplace online. So here I am driving to work one day with this new information, and I find that my foot comes off the accelerator, which is a very unusual thing for me to do. So I pull over and I'm like, that's really weird. Where is that coming from? I didn't want to go to that job, and I wanted to go build this marketplace. At that moment, I got out a clean piece of paper. I wanted to dive into why hadn't anybody yet built a successful B2B healthcare marketplace? Everyone had built it like B2C, business to consumer, like Airbnb and Amazon and eBay. B2C primarily ends at delivery. When you go on Airbnb and you rent a condo, when you're done with it and you leave, it's over. Get a shirt online and you get it, you either return it or you wear it, it's over. But healthcare B2B is much different. It doesn't end at delivery, it starts at delivery. No one's gonna buy anything if they don't understand some company or a group of companies to support that purchase for the next 20 years. Adverse events, regulatory, uptime, legal, training, retraining, service, parts, service contracts. It is an endless amount of work post-delivery to keep a healthcare product, service, or pharma working properly within that clinic or hospital. So knowing it starts at delivery, we had to then look at what we would do differently to make a healthcare marketplace successful. Marketplaces aren't category creators like many people understand, they democratize trust. And what I mean by that is, let's use Airbnb since I touched on that. We now use Airbnb because of reviews, and photographs, and location, and comparative pricing, and keyless entry, and money-back guarantee. We use that now because they've created trust for us, and they make it just as trusting or even more trusting for us to rent a condo or home in a place we've never been from someone we don't know and may never know, as it is to rent a hotel room from Hyatt or Hilton. And those things are called trust enablers. So we knew if we were going to be successful in a B2B healthcare marketplace, we would have to create those same trust enablers, but they weren't going to be the same. The other thing we had to do was really narrow in our categorization. At eBay, we had created hundreds of categories. There was no way we were going to be able to create these trust enablers to democratize trust in the healthcare platform if we were very broad, from suture to CAT scans to EKGs to durable medical equipment. We had to be focused. We researched a number of different categories that we would focus on. We looked at IV pumps, we looked at surgical, we looked at diagnostics such as chemistry, hematology, we looked at imaging, we looked at aesthetics. We spent a lot of time in surgical because we love the fact it had high-end capital, such as sterilizers and washers and tables and lighting, but also had a downstream component to it of pharma and suture and gauze and other things. But we kept coming back to aesthetics. So we ultimately chose aesthetics as the vertical that we would start with because of four principal things. First and foremost, it's a cash-based marketplace. Marketplaces like cash. In other verticals in healthcare, it's primarily paid with a PO, meaning we would have had to take that PO within the marketplace, find a third-party vendor to factor it with to get paid, and then pay the seller. That would have created a level of friction that was different than a cash-paid marketplace like aesthetics, where the patients pay cash and then the clinicians, buyers, pay cash. The other thing that we liked is in the previous 20 years in economic recoil, we had watched aesthetics grow. So in 2000 and 2001, we watched aesthetics grow. In 2008, 2009, we watched aesthetics grow, where healthcare generally pulled back. So we knew if we bumped into some economic stress, we knew that aesthetics would give us some lift, unlike other sectors of healthcare. The next part of it is it's a highly emotional marketplace, meaning if somebody buys a surgical table and they don't like it, they're generally going to use it for 20 years. But if somebody buys an energy-based device, such as a hair removal laser, and it's the wrong one, they sell it very quickly or trade it or just put it in the corner and buy another one. So we like the fact that emotion existed in aesthetics that didn't necessarily exist in other sectors of healthcare. The last thing is the market is growing exponentially bigger, unlike the rest of healthcare. We are seeing 1/7 of the world's wealth residing in the US and baby boomers, which all want to physically be younger. We also have seen a massive adoption of prejuvenation in the youth coming to aesthetics much quicker than they have previously. So we knew that this was the market for us. Once we had identified that aesthetics was going to be the place we were going to start to build a healthcare digitized ecosystem, we then had to set out to determine what are those enablers over the next 20 years from the point of delivery that are going to give people a level of trust that they would purchase from us on an online platform. We identified 8 trust enablers that would create a frictionless marketplace post-delivery. And the first one was the marketplace itself. We originally built it on Magento. We're in the process right now of custom coding and engineering our own platform, but Magento from Adobe gave us the ability to have a sandbox in which we could test and develop the concept of a marketplace, where we could test third-party sellers coming in and selling things. We could create affiliate sites. We could do really incredible things like integrate with McKesson, a Fortune 20 company, where every day MRP integrates with all 200,000 plus McKesson SKUs to get the correct SKUs, the correct pricing, the right quantities, in stock, out of stock, and drop ship from McKesson's 37 warehouses. The second trust enabler we had to build was a processing center, where if you're a seller and you want to sell something and I'm a buyer and I want to buy something, what we've learned is I'm just not going to buy it from you because how do I know it's going to work? How do I get support after it? We had to have a place where someone could send something and we could inspect it and we could repair it and calibrate it and test it and then ship it and get it delivered and get it installed. So we built the largest processing center in the world of pre-owned aesthetic devices. It's roughly 40,000 square feet. We have more technicians here than I think any manufacturer in the US. Roughly 150 to 200 devices come in and out of here a month, and that continues to grow every month. Now we have this place where if somebody wants to sell something and somebody else wants to buy something, you can be assured that you get a similar or better experience than if you bought it from the manufacturer yourself. The third trust enabler we had to build is called a vendor management system, or VMS. You would know a VMS is Uber and Angie's List. In the past, let's say if you needed a car, you'd have to go to the Yellow Pages or online and search cars, but now you just go to Uber, and that's a vendor management system. We had to build it for techs and trainers. And why that was so important is because we just couldn't fly in a tech every time there was a problem, or fly in a trainer when you need a trainer retraining. We needed to regionalize it. So we started building this many years ago, and today we have 300 pre-screened and opted-in technicians on the platform in the US. We have 400 pre-screened and opted-in trainers in the US. And we use those techs and trainers on servicing our devices and also our customers' devices. We believe this is going to be the most successful platform that we built within the ecosystem that we're creating that operates independent of the marketplace, because this takes away the monopolies that manufacturers have on their customers in providing service and support. The fourth thing we had to build was an inventory management system, or an IMS. And we built this because we learned very quickly that clinicians, practitioners, and administrators were very reluctant to put their products on a platform. And there's a lot of reasons for this. First and foremost is liability. They just didn't want to put them on there. The second thing is maybe they just didn't want it public that they were selling something that they had in the practice. We created what's called an anonymous IMS platform, where clinicians and sales reps can list inventory that we have access to. And today we have tens of thousands of products in there, devices, that we can pull through as we need for our buyers. What this does is creates a very efficient process for us to source inventory to get onto the platform. Currently, MRP is working on the next 4 trust enablers. What are they? First is Clinicians Advisor. This is a platform of content creation where all of our customers and vendors can share content freely or for a fee of everything that they're doing. And this is really the future of how people are going to be educated and trained, both patients and clinicians, practitioners, and administrators, on an open source, monitored but not administered platform. In 2024, we're going to work on the 6th, 7th, and 8th platform. The first one that we'll focus on is a Canva-like platform where clinicians and practitioners, administrators can get marketing support and get SEO and pay-per-click support and pre-screen vendors that can supply these things to get the best choice for your practice. The next one we're going to do is a financing platform in which you can look at various financing options for the products and services that you purchase to get the best rate and knowingly get the best rate. The last one that we'll enable is really all the data and analytics that this ecosystem of healthcare that we've created will bring together that will help practitioners run their practices more efficiently. So what does this mean to you? That means product and service cost within healthcare is going to come down radically. Healthcare, unlike so many other B2B industries that have adopted data sitting on tech and eliminated sales and marketing, we still have sales reps selling products that are the very best. They don't have anything that's the second best. And they sell a table, and this person sells a light, and this person sells an energy-based device. But there's no place in which you can go get all that data of comparison analysis, uptime, serviceability, lowest price, and get that data and make the best possible decision. Today, 65% of every purchase is made by a millennial. 70% of those purchases, they do not want to interface with a sales rep until the very end of the process. Now more than ever, healthcare practitioners, administrators, and physicians are the ones making the purchasing, and they want data sitting on tech, and we're providing that. Ultimately, what does that mean for you? It means lower costs of healthcare.